Hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Dad Speak, a show where real dads share their stories about being present in their child's lives with the goal of raising responsible adults. I am your host, Sarah McClure, and my guest today is Rashad Sterling. Today is my first time meeting Rashad. He is the nephew of my producer, Quincy Lewis. Rashad is also a podcaster, and his podcast is called Shad versus Everybody. I'll let him tell us more about it in a few minutes, but in addition to being the host of a podcast, he is also a girls basketball coach and a devoted dad and husband. Today, I'm going to talk to Rashad about podcasting, coaching, and being a dedicated dad and husband. So, welcome, fellow podcaster.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you having me on. It's always good to be the person getting interviewed. I'm used to doing being an interviewee,
Yeah.
the
Well,
host.
this
I'm
should be
being
fun.
the host.
This will be fun. You can give me notes afterwards about what I should have did and what I shouldn't have done.
Oh
I
no, I'm
appreciate
quite
that.
sure you'll be okay.
All right. So, when and why did you decide to become a podcaster?
Well, actually, it started from working at Chrysler. I was working at Chrysler on the line, and I needed something to occupy my time. I was tired of listening to rap albums and R&B albums, so I started listening to different podcast shows. Actually, me and Q, which we talked about the Drink Champs at the time and Tax Stone podcast. So
Okay.
I listened to these shows and I always been interested in interviews way back when I was a kid. My dad used to watch the Arsenio Hall show. My mom used to watch Johnny Carson and Jay Leno and stuff. I was always interested to know about people. And as I got older, I started watching like the Breakfast Club and Sway in the Morning. So once I started listening to like Tax Stone and the Drink Champs, I'm like, man, I really love like podcasts and I really love listening to these shows. And I never thought about starting my own. So as I'm listening to these shows and finding out, about new shows, my producer, he also has a show. I've been on his show a few times. This one particular time I went on his show, I helped him interview a rapper named Verdict. And I got me a couple questions in and I was excited. They was excited for my questions. They complimented me. So I'm like, man, I can do this. I still never did it though. So I'm still at work. I'm listening to these shows, and one day I'm like, I can do it. I'm gonna start a podcast. So 1 year later, after I said that, I tried to get my cousin and his friend to do a 3-man show where we talk about sports, rap, weekly topics and stuff like that. They played around, never wanted to really do it. And one day I got tired of procrastinating after years and years of talking about it. I hit Q up and I told him I got a guest and we're gonna start the podcast. I'm gonna just interview people in the city that got something going on. And what 4 or 5 years later, we still doing it. We'll be shooting
Wow.
episode 201 tomorrow. And I met and connected with a lot of good people around the city of Detroit and also a couple of people that's outside of Detroit in different states.
Okay. So, how did you pick what you were going to talk about?
Well, what I do is I just kind of like I got a guide as far as like what I want to talk about, different topics, and I just go on people pages. I do real research and plug in different things about them. I hate for somebody to come on the show and I don't know too much about them, so I kind of
Right.
like dig deep. I go on like Facebook. I look at old pictures. I look through comments just to see like maybe they might have called you a nickname. I bring a nickname up and you'll be surprised. Like, how do you know this about me? I try to do my research because if somebody coming to me, they drive and they taking their time out their day to spend an hour and a half with me. I want to do my due diligence and just know about them and make them feel comfortable and almost like we're like family that just been talking for a long time.
Yeah, make them feel comfortable. Okay.
Yeah, try.
All right. So, when does your new episode upload, and how often and which platform do you upload them on?
Well, we record on Sundays every Sunday. And video is usually uploaded on Tuesdays. We're on every platform, any platform that you can listen to a podcast. We're right there. YouTube, Apple
Okay.
Podcast, Spotify, wherever you can find me. All you gotta do is type in "Shad versus Everybody," and you'll get a rundown on every episode that I have. So it's pretty easy. I try to make sure me and my producer get the show right to him, so we won't be sitting on anything and we do it on Sunday, and it's right there for you to watch on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m.
Okay. Do you ever do live recordings, or have you thought
Not
about it?
really. I have times whenever a guest cancel, which is not often. Me and my producer usually sit back and talk about different things that's going on, and we go live. I'm a I would like to do it more, but I get a little nervous that something's just gonna mess up. I'm a professional. I don't like for anything to go wrong. Usually when the guests come on the show, I always ask them, "Is there anything that you don't want me to ask you?" Because I
Right.
hate for it to look awkward on camera.
Right.
So I kind of like it with the whole pre-recording. Maybe in the future I'll do a couple of live ones if I, get the courage. But for right now, I like it to be pre-recorded.
Yeah, just in case something goes wrong, you can get
Yeah,
them to edit it out, or after
exactly.
they say it, they call you back before it's uploading and say, "Man, take that part out."
And
Uh,
now I have had that. I have had.
okay. And
Um, I'm not gonna put names out there, but it's been situations, not often, but it was one situation where I know I was just listening to it, and I went back and told Q like, "You gotta take this out. If this goes out, it's gonna cause a big problem, and I'm gonna be the one in the middle of it from both ends." So I
okay.
just I stopped it. It actually aired. Q being the super producer that he is, I don't want to gas you up, Q, but he heard he took that part out, and I was right to do that because later on, said person listened to that episode, and if that part would have been in that episode, it would have been a problem.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good thing you know your guests and you know what's going on with them, because otherwise, yeah,
Yeah,
it would have
it
been
was.
trouble for somebody.
Yeah, when you're in the middle of a conversation, sometimes you just go with the flow. You're really not paying attention to something that may not make sense.
Right.
And after I went back and listened to it, I'm like, yeah, this can cause problems. Let's get rid of this, Q. So I did the right
Okay.
thing.
So, how do you select your guests? And is there a certain topic that your guests come up with? Do you let them come up with topics? Say, man, I want to come on your show because I want to talk about X, Y, and Z. Or like you say,
Um,
you just do your research and say, I think this would be a good topic to have this person discuss.
no, I don't really allow the guests to have their topics for me to ask them. For the most part, I pick guests based on what they have going on. So if it's a artist, if they have a project coming out or a single, if it's an actor or actress, if they have a new movie or a TV show coming out, or if it's just someone that's have a business or a brand that they have and want to advertise, I have them come on the show. I don't really go right into what they got going on. We usually get some background on them,
Right.
as random topics, random conversations, and then in the middle, that's when we start plugging in whatever you have that you want to advertise.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
had somebody who wanted to really dictate the whole show, and he told me he was going to have every topic that he wanted me to ask him, and I turned that down.
Oh, okay. Okay. What are some of your most memorable shows, like in the last 3 months or so? Can you pass?
Um, One in particular, this was maybe a month and a half ago. It was my first time shooting two episodes in one day.
Okay.
Um, yeah, because I knew that my producer had somewhere to go. I didn't want to fall off and have a week that was missing the show. So I just had two guests. And I was a little worried about that because I didn't know by the time the second guest, I didn't know if I had the same energy.
Right.
And it seemed like, all right, I've been in here. It's getting boring now. It's going to be a drag of a conversation. But the energy was there. And both
Okay.
episodes did well. Both guests came late.
Oh, okay.
But it worked. It worked out. It worked out, and I was able to have two episodes to be able to, you know, make sure the weeks keep going without having to miss a show. Now, one episode in particular that I remember the most, and I kind of give myself a pat on the back because I could have got frustrated about this. Is that I had a artist. He came on the show, and it was around Valentine's Day. The artist is an R&B singer, so I thought it'd be real cool to talk about different relationship conversations. So I had a
Mm-hmm.
whole breakdown of what I want to talk about. 5 minutes before the show, his manager said we don't want to talk about anything that have anything to do with relationships. So right, and
Oh
so it
my
really didn't make
God.
sense. It's Valentine's Day. you're an R&B artist. Your
Right.
music is for women. So I thought that
But
would be kind of fun.
love.
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun to talk about that. And I had to just change the whole thing up. And that's when I'm like, all right, I'm pretty good at this because I didn't fumble. I kept it going, and I just moved on to different, different other topics. But I
Okay.
had like a whole like maybe 30-minute conversation just
Right.
attacking that. Yeah.
Mm. Well,
So
it's
it's like,
good
all
you're
right, yeah,
flexible.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it's good.
good. Like the old me probably would have messed this up.
Well, it's good to be flexible. It's good to be flexible. So now you say you were working at Chrysler. Are you still working at Chrysler?
No, no, I'm not working at Chrysler
Okay.
anymore. I work in a hospital doing inventory coordinator. Just make sure that all the staff have everything they need to do surgeries and just their daily thing. So
Okay. All right. So how did you now were you a coach before you started podcasting or you podcasted before you became a coach and
I was
working?
I was a coach first.
Okay.
I, the first time I coached, it was kind of a mistake. It was
Uh-oh. Okay.
the only reason why I wanted to coach is because my son at the time was in fourth grade. They only
Okay.
had the league at his school was fifth and sixth graders only, and he was asking
Hmm.
for volunteer coaches. So me thinking I can beat the system, I'm like, if I coach, I can get my fourth grade son to play. But
Okay.
they stopped that. They say no, he's not playing. He's in fourth grade. But we would still like you to coach. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it. The backstory on this though, my mom used to always tell me I should coach basketball, and I felt like that was disrespectful to me because I felt like she was saying you should coach because you're not good at playing.
So you did play sports in school.
I play sports. I was good, but she was just saying the way I was with my brother. She always felt like I would be a good coach, but I looked at it like
Yeah.
I'm good enough to play. I don't want to coach.
Oh,
So
you thought it was an insult and it was a really a compliment.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, but
Okay.
young me thought I'm looking at it like, hey, you saying I can't play basketball? So
Okay. So
fast forward
so
to 2016, I'm coaching and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm working at Chrysler. My wife, who's a pre-K teacher, she calls me and say there's an opening for a coaching spot at her school. And I
okay.
got I got scared. I ain't gonna lie. So I'm like, all right, this is real. Okay. So I kind of procrastinated a little bit, which is I procrastinate on a lot of things, but she kind of taught me into doing it, and I went to the practice. Well, I went to the school. I talked to the guy, and I'm like, yeah, I want to coach boys. He said, okay, but can you please coach girls for me? I'm like, no, I don't want to coach girls basketball. I'm good. I would rather just coach the boys. He's like, man, I would really love for you to coach girls basketball as well. I got my daughter coming right here. And I'm like, I'd rather coach girls basketball. I mean, boys basketball instead. He said that he would pay me for both. So
Wow.
I'm like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and I'll do both. The girls basketball was really, it really taught me how to be a coach because you gotta have patience. Girls aren't as athletic at that young of an age, so I was just kind of like, having a lot of patience. The girls really helped me out a lot.
Hi.
Say hi. Yeah, so
How old is she?
she'll be 4 in December.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
so I'm
gonna guess
actually
four. Okay.
yep. So I'm thankful for coaching girls because it really taught me patience. It taught me how to become. It taught me how to be gentle. It just taught me how to understand. And ever since then, I just been, I've been sticking with it. And I don't mind coaching boys. I just find it more. It's more of a challenge for me to coach girls to get them to, go with their full potential.
Okay. So you stopped coaching the boys and now you strictly girls. What's their ages?
The ages are 11, 12, and 13. I actually
Okay.
had an interview to coach at Jalen Rose Academy High School,
Okay.
coaching varsity girls. So that'd be a whole different challenge for me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just looking at his golf outing that's come out. Have plans to play in it. It said at
yeah,
the end of
yeah,
the
yeah.
month.
So actually,
Yeah.
when I met him up there, I was only going to see if I can get an interview with him. Come to find out, I was having a conversation. with the athletic director who was the high school boys coach, and
Wow.
he really liked me. He really enjoyed our conversation, and he had mentioned to someone that he wanted me to come and coach at the school. So
Wow.
so now on Monday we basically just talking numbers and what do he want from me.
Well, congratulations and best of luck.
Oh yeah,
Don't let
thank
them
you.
shortchange you though. You
Oh no,
you you know
I
your
won't
you know your value. I'm
for
just
sure,
saying.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you said the girls are 11, 12, and 13 that you're coaching.
Yes, they are.
Okay. So are you stressing academics to them as well
Oh
as
yeah.
playing? Because
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If the grades aren't right, if the attitudes aren't right, if what they're doing at home is not right, then you can't play. You
okay.
gotta you gotta have a certain GPA. I actually just came from practice. And I give my girls a lot because unfortunately, when you coaching and you're meeting these young girls and young men, you are realizing how parenting is very important as far as how they're acting towards you.
Right.
A lot of kids that I really have to get on, and I feel like it's my responsibility just to make sure I'm teaching them these values because with sports, a lot of things that you do in sports it equates to the real world. If you're a
Okay.
team player, you can really adapt well in different situations. If it's work, if it's family, I just feel like sports and life is the same thing basically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I agree.
but yeah,
I
with great
agree.
if the grades aren't right, oh you're not playing, you're not getting on the court at all.
Okay. So when you played, do you play organized sports when you were in school?
Yep, I played organized all the way until 11th grade because I had moved.
Okay. So, compare the difference between you as a male athlete and the girls you coach on your team. Like
Mhm.
when you were on the team with the guys, how was the attitude about going to practice and, compared to the young ladies that you're coaching?
You you gotta force them a little bit. With me, I don't know. I always talk about. It's funny saying the things that my mom used to say, like back in my day. But back when I was playing, we wanted to come to practice. We wanted to play. We wanted to compete. And a lot of these girls, sometimes you have a couple. I have 13 girls. Out of 13 girls, you probably have 4 or 5 that really want to play. So that's the difference. Like I remember, we wanted to play basketball. We wanted to work hard. um,
Right.
it's unfortunate a lot of kids don't want to work hard and they want things just to be handed to you. With me in particular, I can't speak for others. When I was playing, I took it as a challenge just to take what I felt I deserved. If it was more playing time, if it was a starting spot, if it was just more opportunities, I felt like I needed to earn that. Um,
Okay.
a lot of times when you coaching kids, they feel like it should just be given. They can mess up, but you're
Mhm.
still supposed to give to them. When they don't understand, like in real life, nothing is given to you. You got to earn everything. Which is, if it's a paycheck, whatever, you got to earn everything. In life, nothing is never given to you. If you feel that way, it's gonna be hard for you once you grow up.
Yeah, this is just instant gratification, microwave,
Yeah. And,
I need it right now kind
uh-huh.
of thing. But thank God you're teaching values,
Yeah, because they don't
because
understand just no. Like no is it's okay to say no, and it's okay to receive no. So
yeah.
I'm on them. I'm on them a lot. Like I said, I just left practice not too long ago. I just had to get on them about just the small things because you pay attention to those things. I'm very very I pay attention to details very much. If I ask you to do something, I'm looking at how do you react. Do you
Right.
give me back talk? Are you getting mad? Are you catching an attitude? Are you rolling your eyes? Like I'm paying attention to all that stuff because not only am I playing you off your talent, I'm playing you off of your demeanor as well.
Yeah, attitude matters then,
Mhm.
right?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay. All right. So the biggest difference is the guys wanted to play,
Mhm.
and a lot of the girls are there. I mean, like, is it because it's just something extra to do, or is it
Yeah,
for?
some of them is just something extra to do. Some of them really want to go to a next level with it, as far as like high school ball, college ball. So it's just the difference in just wanting to earn something and not being not it's not being given to you.
Okay. Do you hear a lot of it? That's not fair
Oh my
from the
God.
girls.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's why I say so with the girls it really taught me patience and just to relax, calm down, breathe. Cause if I put you in the game and you mess up 3, 4, or 5 times in a row, I have to sit you down. But when I'm sitting you down, I'm explaining. But you're like, oh, but
Right.
I want to be out there. Such and such is playing way more than me. I'm like, well, such and such is out there making an impact. Like, we have to work on small things. So they just want to,
Mm.
oh, that's not fair. Emily
Ah,
is playing, I should be playing. You know,
man.
you are the leader of. I got 12 girls on a team. It's 20 minutes per half. There's 40 minutes a game. So you try to make sure you are as reasonable and as fair as you can be. But sometimes you
Right.
you can't please everyone. Somebody's gonna be mad on the team.
Yeah. They understand it a little better each game,
Yeah.
or I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
yeah.
never have anyone quit on me. They always
Good.
come. They always come back. For the last couple of years, thank God that I haven't had any parents, no altercations, no problems with the parents. Everybody know that what I do with the kids, I'm fair all the way around. And if I feel like a kid is not playing as much as they may want to, I'll always talk to the parents and let them know what we need to do to get them more playing
Hmm.
time.
Okay. Because I was going to ask you about, do you have, those crazy parents that, want to tell you my baby should be out there?
Oh yeah, you have
I
them.
just bought her some new shoes.
I bought new shoes. Yeah, got her some new socks. Got her all this stuff. She should be playing. And I had them before, but I'm just thankful for these last couple of 2 or 3 years that the parents are understanding, and I have had more dads out there, and I'm happy for that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
yeah. I got this. This is the first group that I had more dads that's been active than mothers.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So, you say you played in high school. Which high school were you in?
My first 2 years, I went to Grosse Pointe North on the east side, and I had to leave that school because my mom had moved back to the city of Detroit. So once they found out, they say, okay, it's April, you can finish the year off, but you gotta go. So
Oh,
after those 2 years, I went to Southeastern High School, 30 Mac. That's on the east side. I went there, and it was like it was very different. Grosse Pointe was a suburban school, more Caucasians and African Americans. And going back to Southeastern, is an inner city school. We had tryouts for the basketball team. They already had their team. They was only looking for one person. Um, it was like 50 people trying out for one spot.
wow.
Yeah, and I just knew I was gonna make the team. I told my mom, "I be ready. I'm making the team." They didn't pick me. That's the first
So
time I
how
got.
was that?
Oh, that's
How
the
was
first
that
time I
for you?
I cried because that was the first time I didn't make a team. And I
Wow.
looked on the list. I looked up. I looked down. No Sterling. I'm like, oh, I left home. I went home and everything.
Wow.
They picked my best friend
What
too.
what was your position?
I was a point guard and shooting guard, but I'm small. I'm only 5'8". So at the time,
Okay.
I'm like, I'm the same height, 5'8". They went with somebody who was 6'5". So
How did he do? Do you remember?
he did good. He's still playing basketball overseas right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I guess they didn't make a bad decision.
yeah. They made a good decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to my
So,
that's a good friend of mine. His name Will Bullard. Right now, he played for the Harlem Globetrotters.
oh, good for you. Okay.
Yeah.
So, when you graduated, what was your first job?
Well, I barely graduated, just because
But you graduated,
I
so
graduated.
okay.
Thank God. Just being young and just not really thinking about school because basketball. I felt like I needed basketball to keep my grades right. I feel like basketball was my purpose, so I kept my grades right. Right when I made the team, my grades slipped bad. But
Wow.
I did graduate. I didn't go straight to college. My first job after graduating high school was at Super Kmart.
Okay.
I got the job because my mom boyfriend at the time was working there. He got me a job. I didn't know it was seasonal. I thought it was a full-time job, and they fired me right after Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, but
Okay. Well, you got a little work ethic going on right
that,
after school,
that
though.
was my first
Okay.
job. I was out of high school. I was unloading trucks at Super Kmart.
Okay, okay. So what did you want to be when you were growing up?
Um, I wanted to be in the NBA. I had those dreams that every kid had coming up. I wanted to be in the NBA, and that's why I'm so tough on my kids now, is because then, I mean, you had goals, but it was, I'm not gonna say unrealistic goals, but you had goals that everybody in your neighborhood had. I never looked at anything else besides basketball. Basketball was life. I was watching it, I was recording it, I was studying it. I had basketball cards. Like I just knew that'd be my future. If I can go back, I would have stayed with sports, but I would have did something like sports management or sports medicine, something I could still be around the game of basketball.
Right.
Yeah, so back then it was just the NBA, and I have no plan B. So it's like,
No.
as I got older,
Wow.
that's when other things started coming. But growing up, it was just basketball. And now, with my kids, I always tell them like it's okay to have dreams, but you gotta have other options as well.
Plan A, plan B, plan C.
Plan C, D,
Right.
E, F. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Now
got
you
to.
mentioned you had a brother. How many siblings do you have?
I have two brothers. I have three brothers. Rest in peace to my brother Mark. I really didn't know him too well. My dad had him before he was with my mom, and I only seen him a couple of times. But I have three siblings. My older brother named Jamal. He's 9 years older than me, and my little brother name is Malcolm. He's 7 years younger than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no
So
son.
are you guys close now?
Yeah. Especially me and my younger brother. We are the only ones that have the same mom and dad. Um, Me and him talk every day. I just seen him an hour ago. He just picked up my son and hang out with him. Me and my brother are very, very, very close. We argue every day. We talk every day, but I wouldn't change it. Like, it was one time in my life I was actually looking up to my little brother because he was doing everything. He wasn't afraid to try things. He wasn't afraid to speak his mind. The things that I was kind of nervous to do, he did it. So I was proud of him as a big brother. It was never a jealous thing. It was a proud
Right.
thing because with our dad passing away at a young age, I felt like I had a hand in raising him. So
Mm.
just to see him do the things that he was doing, he went to college, he tried it. After our mom passed away, he went to school. He was figuring things out on his own. And to this day I'm proud of him just for being a great young man.
Where do you think he got that from? Was he watching your mom, your dad, your grandfather, your uncle?
I
Was
think it
it
was
a coach?
I think it was for him. He had a lot of people in his life that he probably took a little bit of everything from. Coaches, he
Hmm.
played for the same coach um, from eight, well, the same organization from 8 until he was 17. Running gun RNG All Stars. His name was Michael Quick. He was an ex cop who had founded his own basketball team. He had myself. I played the biggest role in his life. But
Okay.
he had me, my mom, my uncles. He had a lot of people that he took stuff apart. But with my brother, he was never afraid to like fail. He always took chances, even if there were I didn't agree on him. He was never afraid to just try things. If that was moving to Austin, Texas, if that was coming back home, he was never afraid to try. That's the one thing I,
Wow.
I love about him. He was never afraid to try. If it was right, if it was wrong, if we didn't agree with him, he took chances and risks. Things that I might have not had done at that age, he did it. So, and right now,
I
I,
like that.
I was telling Q, like, I'm happy for him because as much as I want to help him, we are older. I have three kids. I have a wife. I can't do what we used to do because it's more than just me and him now.
Right.
So it's good to see him. He'll be a first time dad the end of August. August 29th, his baby boy will be due.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations on being another uncle, then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what did your parents do for a living?
My
Is
dad was in and out of work. He never was stable when it came to working. That's just how he was.
okay.
He did a lot of blaming. He was a man that never wanted to just sit still. My mom, she was into cleaning, so and she did catering and she had her own cleaning business. So
Okay.
she'd do like housekeeping. She um through her job, she'd meet people and she'd go and, you know, she had like 5 or 6 different clients that she'd go and clean their house up before she go to her main job. She worked for this company called Sacred Heart. It's on the west side. I believe it's on Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 over there in that area. So yeah, she did a lot. Like she did a lot as far as working. She worked 2 jobs. She worked all day and come home and be tired. So, that's why I feel like we got our work from as far as like looking at my mom every day catching the bus. We didn't really have like cars and stuff like that. So I just saw her no matter what, if it was raining, snowing, sunshine, she'd be out there going to work every day.
Okay. You say you lost your father when you were young.
Yeah, I was actually I was on my way to graduation rehearsal from 8th grade. I'm like, Mom, you couldn't wait to tell me afterwards. So yeah, my father passed away June 13th, 2000. Yeah, so I was on my way to my 8th grade graduation rehearsal. He had passed away the day before, but they didn't tell me because my mom was at work. And when she took me to school, she told me. I really wasn't hurt because my dad was sick for like a year and a half. He was like in a vegetable
Wow.
state, you know. So
Wow.
I felt like it was for the best. I hope that don't sound crazy, but it's just like seeing
No, I
someone,
understand.
yeah,
Uh,
seeing someone for a year and a half, and they can't talk, they can't walk, they can't move, they can only show somewhat emotion. That's it, and pain. So when he passed away, I felt like it was better for him. I didn't cry until the funeral. That's when I realized, like, he's gone. But up until then, I felt like it was better just because he was suffering.
right.
Yeah.
And you didn't want him to suffer anymore. Yeah.
No, 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 no. Cause I
Right.
felt like once him and my mom passed away, I don't know what he was really doing or what caused him to get sick or anything like that. But I felt like my mom was the only good thing for him. So once she passed away, I felt like I really think that he didn't really feel like living life was worth it because like the most important thing to him was gone. But I do
Wow.
understand why my mom left. But I just felt like when she left, it was like it took all of his life away. So
Mm.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah, that's something. Yeah.
yeah.
So that didn't deter you from deciding that you wanted to get married and have a family one day, huh?
I never thought about marriage when I was young though, because
Really?
I never thought about it because you got to think about it. Like me growing up, I probably been to 2 weddings in my life until I was an adult. Right in my life, I probably been to 5 or 6 weddings.
Okay.
If
So not a lot of your friends when you were growing up, when they got out of high school, they didn't end up getting a job and let me get married and let me have a family and all that stuff.
no, the only person I knew that like got married immediately, or I didn't say immediately, but young, was my older brother. He been married since he was 23, and right now
Wow.
he is 49.
Wow.
That's the only person I've seen. And my cousin Gina, she got married young, but I never really seen marriage, so I didn't know what marriage looked like. My mom and dad didn't get married. Of course, like my grandparents was married, but that was before I was alive. But
Right.
I never seen marriage, so marriage never really crossed my mind. Me and my oldest son, mom was together, but we were so young. We was like 20 years old when we had. I was 20 when I had him. She was 18. I wasn't thinking about marriage. I was just thinking about, okay, this is my girlfriend. This is my son. I feel like being 2021. I felt like I was too young to get married. Once I met
Okay.
my wife, um, just like my whole way of thinking had changed by then. I had grew up. I wasn't immature. And I feel like I had the right one. I feel like the woman I wanted was right in my face, so I didn't want to. I'm at the time I'm 29, 30. It's like why keep playing games when you got somebody in front of you that you love and care for.
How'd she sweep you off your feet?
It's just she kind of remind me of my mom a little bit. Like
Okay.
I remember my grandmother when she met her. She my wife she was my girlfriend at the time. She cussed me out in front of my grandma because my son didn't have the proper clothing on for the weather outside. 'Cause it was cold. So my grandma was like, you know what? You ain't had women, but nobody never really got on you for the right reason. And that was the first time I
Mm.
saw somebody like cuss you out, and I would have cussed you out, So she on me for the right reasons. She I feel like everything that I'm doing now as far as coaching, I just felt like good things came to me once I met her. You know,
Okay.
so it's like why waste time and lose this person when this is the person that you need in your life. And at the time, I felt like my family was, a lot of people passed away. Her family was great. Her family accepted me and my son. So it's like you got everything you asked for.
Wow.
Mm.
That's great. That's great. Wow.
Yeah.
So, how did you meet your wife?
Well, I think she okay with me telling the story now because for a long time we was lying to people. We
Oh, wait, wait, wait. Call her on the phone. No, I'm just kidding.
no, she okay. We was lying to people and saying that we had met. I had moved to Texas for a little bit after my mom passed away. I came back to visit, and we lied and said that we met each other when I came to visit. The real way we met was on social media. Which
Okay.
I didn't like it. She didn't like it. To this day, I don't know how we were friends on Instagram. I don't know because I don't know anybody that she knows, and she don't know anybody that I know. So
Wow.
one day I'm like, who is this? Who is this girl? Like I never even seen her before. So I came with the weakest game ever, and I sent her a message. And I said, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" Knowing I don't know her, and she's like, "No, you don't know me." I'm like, "Are you from the east side?" She's like, "No, I'm from the west side." I'm like, "Oh," I left it alone. And she's like, "Why you ask that?" I'm like, "I don't know. I was just curious. I'd never seen you before." And we had a conversation. We talked for like 4 or 5 months. I told her I was coming to Detroit to visit. Usually when I come to Detroit, I hang out with Q. I hang out with my uncles, my cousins, and stuff. But this time, I was just with her the whole time. Like
Wow.
I'm
You
like,
knew, huh?
I didn't want to even be around Q. I took Q truck and went to go see her and stuff. I dropped Q off wherever he gotta go. I remember Q was calling me one night to pick him up. I ignored his phone call.
What?
Yeah. So we,
Oh, your nose was wide open.
yeah. So I went back to Texas. I'm like, man, I like this girl. So things didn't pan out in Texas. I had to move back home, and when I moved back home, I couldn't get rid of her.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, we've been going ever since. So I think she's finally okay with us telling that story because we told a couple of her family because her mom used to ask her cousins, and we had just escape the question or talk about something else.
I think that's a beautiful story.
Yeah. Now we wasn't searching for each other. We just so happened to
Right.
we so happened to just start talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I think that's a beautiful story. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, it's okay now, but
Okay.
back then we did not want to tell that story.
Oh, okay. So who was your example of how to be a dad? And how many kids do you have? I'm sorry.
I have a three. I have a my son to be 18. Man, he getting old. My
Yeah,
son,
he can know.
yeah, he's getting old. I'm still young.
Right, right.
My son be 18 December 13th. My daughter be 4 December 15th. And my son Aiden be 8 July 8th.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you just got one girl.
Yep. And once we got the girl, we like, all right, it's over. Yeah, we good. I did the math. When she graduated high school, I'll be 52 years old. I'll still be good. Still got some.
So you grew up with a brother in the house. Your other brother, he was probably gone
Yep.
when you
Yeah.
guys.
My older brother, he had stayed with his mom, but he had come over a lot. We stayed like 5 minutes away from each other. He had went to college when I was 9. He went to the University of Dillard in New Orleans, so he was gone. So yeah, it was just me, my brother, and my mom and dad for a little bit until they split up.
Okay. So how was it? I mean, you had the experience of living with your mom and your dad and your brother. How is it now? You've got a lady, your wife, and your daughter. How is it living with women in the house all the time?
You can't forget to put the toilet seat down. Like yeah, we got into a lot of arguments about that early on, but no, it just with living with women, you just gotta understand, and you gotta have your own space. That's it. Because you gotta have times y'all gonna get on each other's nerves. I know I get on her nerves, and vice versa. I got my basement. I go downstairs and watch TV, and then we come back upstairs and talk about it. But no, it's
That's
okay. You just
good.
gotta even. I say it's living with anybody. You gotta adapt to just situations and how they are.
Right.
That you do that might get on their nerves, and things that they do that get on your nerves. You just gotta. You gotta. I ain't gonna say deal with it, but you gotta adjust.
Now you say your 18-year-old was by your first relationship. How was that? Were you together up until he was like 10 or 12, or did you break up when he was younger? Did you have to go through, I can't see my son, or I get to see my son, or did you have a nice civil relationship? And
Mhm. Yeah, it was well. We had met in high school, went to the same high school. You know, puppy love, young love. You think you're gonna be with this person? We had our son. Like I said, when I was 20, she was 18. We had stayed together until my son was 5. Um, we were both young, and she made a decision that most women wouldn't even make. She had decided that at the time we both stayed in Detroit. My son would stay with me during the school week and go with her for weekends. Um,
okay.
we both had moved. She had got into a relationship, and she moved to Florida. I moved to Texas, and we came up with a decision that she felt it'd be best for him to be raised by a man. So thank God she allowed me to have him with me during the school year, and then during the holidays and stuff like that, he go with her. Right now, he's with her until the end of August. Then he come back home for school. So he's with me during the school year. He with her during the off months.
Well, that's beautiful.
And
That's
we
beautiful.
good. We had a little issue at first. That's just how it is when you break up with someone. But my mom had asked me one day, like, "Are you going to ever get back with her?" I'm like, "Nah." I'm like, "Most definitely, I won't." She's like, "So what's the point of arguing? Like, y'all should be okay to raise y'all kid because y'all don't want each other anymore." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, that makes sense." So ever since that conversation, me and her been real good friends. Like we talk, even if I have anything to do with my son, we still talk. My wife is cool with her. I'm cool with her husband. One day they came to visit, and we was all at his father's house, just having a good time and just chilling. Because my thing is, just because we're not together, don't mean that we can't be friends.
Right.
And we all family at the end of the day. Because no matter how old my son is, if he's 18, if he's 25, if he's 40, that's still our son. That's still something that's gonna bond us forever. So yeah,
Yeah, no sense in arguing, right?
yeah. So I'm glad that we was able to work out. A lot of relationships don't end like that. But no, we good friends. I've been knowing her too long for us to even beef out over nothing. Just because we didn't work out as a relationship don't mean that we can't work out as friends.
I like that.
So
I like that.
yeah, she a
So,
cool person.
yeah. So, who would you say your example is on how to be a husband and a dad? Who was your example?
Um, my older brother, just because like I said, he been a dedicated husband since he was 23 years old. He been with the same woman since he was 19. They met his freshman year at Dillard. So they've been together forever. And just seeing that, like, man, that was like a great example. And just seeing people mess up too. Like
How many kids do they have? Do they have any?
they have one. They have two. They actually just adopted a little girl not too long ago. So
Okay.
they have two girls. Yeah, just seeing him and what he do and what my sister in law, what they do together as a team. That's something that you definitely want to emulate and just kind of like be like, hey, I need to be like them, and take a little bit of how they act and add to my relationship. So they're a great team. He's always been a great dad. Like I consider him more of a dad to me than a brother. I consider him more of a dad to me. I consider Q more of a brother.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, how do you show your children that you love them? How do you show them love?
just being there, being around, always being that person that they can rely on. I was just talking to my father-in-law about this yesterday. I want to do my son actually know how much I don't say sacrifice, but what I have done like since him, because it's now I've been thinking a lot since he about to be 18 years old. He about to graduate high school. I'll be in my feelings a little bit like, man, he getting older and stuff like. So I honestly want to know, do he like understand like the things that I've sacrificed to make sure that he's good. Because once you have a kid, my mom told me that like it's not even about you anymore, it's about them.
Right.
So yeah, I just show him I love him. I can honestly say I don't say the word I love you enough. I don't know. I just always thought that was like just maybe because I never really said it to my mom and growing up, I never really heard that. I never heard it. So it's
Mm.
like even my brother said he loved me. I always gotta add I love you, dog, or I love you, man, or like I just gotta make it sound manly, like
Oh, you worried about it make you sound soft?
Yeah, I got, and that's something I need to work on, like So, but no,
What
I
about
just,
with your daughter though?
oh yeah,
Can you tell her?
I'm different with her. She brought something out of me that just I can get emotional just seeing her have full conversations now. So,
Okay.
yeah, but I show them I love them. I'm like just through my actions, even though I need to
Oh,
start just letting them know and telling them, but I feel like I show them my love through my actions.
do you hug them sometime or a lot?
Yeah. My oldest son, we don't really hug that much, but
What y'all do? Dap each other
yeah,
up?
like what's up, man? How you feel, man? But no, we good though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just he know it. He even told me I show him a different love than what his mom showed him, but he know it's still love though.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
Okay, well that's good. Well, all right, everybody, we're gonna take a quick break right here. Stay tuned. We're just gonna take a 20-second break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Real Dad Speak.
My name is Sean Williams, and I am the founder and president of the Dad Gang Incorporated. The Dad Gang is a support group for Black fathers, and we are on a mission to change the way the world views Black dads.
I do agree there's a misconception about Black parents.
Welcome back, everybody, to Real Dad Speak. We're talking with Rashad Sterling. He is a podcaster, a coach, dedicated dad, and husband. And right now, Rashad, we're going to talk about my final five. This is where I either ask you a question or fill in the blank. So, number one, how did you feel the day you became a dad for the first time?
scared.
Scared?
Yeah, because once he came out the womb, I'm like, oh my god,
Were
like
you in the birthing room?
yeah, yeah. It was like all right, this is real. I can't put it back. Like life is real now. Like I feel like that was real life.
Okay.
So I was a little
All
nervous. I,
right.
I just wanted to be a great dad. That's
Okay. Number two, you don't have any sisters, but you coach girls basketball.
mm,
So if you had to pick a subject to teach those girls for a day, what would you teach them?
oh, that's a good question. A subject I would teach them for a day. Um, Street smarts.
Street smarts?
Yeah, because a lot of times these guys get over women, and depending on the household that they came from, they let the guys get over them. A lot of times you meet women that come from single parent households, and they don't know, but they're looking for their dad through a man, and sometimes a man can sense that and get over it. So I'll try to teach them street smarts, just to know what to look for as far as men or just life.
Okay. Number three, what advice would you give to a boy or girl who's thinking about dating in high school?
Um, what advice would I give about dating in high school? Be smart. Be smart. Be patient, and it's okay to wait. Don't let others pressure you into making a decision that change your life forever. When that come for sex, that can come for education. Just be smart and don't let peer pressure make you do something just because you feel like that's the cool thing to do.
Okay. All right. Number four, what advice would you give a young man who just got married and is thinking about starting a family right away?
Um, Live with that person before you make that decision. Know the person that you about to marry, and if you know that person and you feel like she's the right one, once you get married, don't settle. Don't don't stop giving compliments. Treat them and fall in love with them as often as you can.
I like that. All right. Number five, this is a fill in the blank. The key to being a dedicated husband and dad is blank. You tell me what that blank is for you.
Say it again.
The key to being a dedicated husband and dad is blank.
Um,
What's your key to being a dedicated dad and husband?
I say patience slash love. Patience is because some things just take time. Some things take
Hmm.
time. The reason why I say patience is because a lot of times I want things to happen right now. Like I don't ever want my kids to have to just want anything. So I just, just patience and just that's why I say patience slash love. That's the key to being a good dad.
All right. Okay, well, thank you, sir.
And
I appreciate you coming on,
I appreciate you
and
having me.
maybe I can return the favor and become a guest on your podcast. I
Oh,
have no idea what we'll talk about, but
for
you'll
sure.
think of something.
For sure. We definitely have to make that happen. I definitely would love to have you on there. We could just talk about all the crazy things that we talk about.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to Real Dad Speak. We've been talking with Rashad Sterling, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next week. And remember, our podcast coming out every 2 weeks now on Tuesday on Spotify or YouTube. So thank you and have a good one.
Okay, I appreciate you having me on again too.